When Australian Academy of Science's Primary Connections came to us looking for a reliable partner, they had no idea we would end up producing an innovative solution to a national teaching problem. We created an authoring tool, which helps our client create interactive teaching resources, changing the lives of science teachers across Australia. Teachers report one of their biggest challenges is creating their own resources, which takes up a lot of their time, and means similar materials are being created many times over by multiple teachers. So, while Primary Connections asked us to build a series of teaching resources for interactive whiteboards, we instead designed the full authoring framework. We knew this would result in huge efficiencies, not only for our client, but for science teachers as well. And our client couldn't be more thrilled. We love you! You listened to what we needed and came back with ideas that were so innovative and exciting and went far beyond what we even realised was possible. And what you delivered went above and beyond yet again, with a beautiful interface that was user-friendly and that made our teachers' jobs so much easier. We really have loved working with you and looking forward to a long and happy working relationship as we take our next steps in the online environment, as well as developing ebooks down the track. Amy Stoneham, Primary Connections. In the past, authors with no tech skills would brief developers who had no authoring skills on what they wanted their ITR to be. Then the developers would create the ITR and give it back to the authors, but it wouldn't be quite right because the brief hadn't been translated properly. So the author would have to send it back to the developer to have another go, and so it would play out again and again. Then finally, 2 years and a gazillion rounds of changes later, you'd have your interactive teaching resource. And if you were lucky, it would be close to what the original brief described. What happens now? Our client creates their own interactive teaching resources. A short-sighted approach would have been to produce the digital materials our client wanted. But given the ever-changing Australian curriculum, we had a better idea. We handed control back to the people that actually know what they're talking about. Crazy, right? We used technology to produce something functional for the target market, rather than showing off our tech prowess with shiny whiz-bangery. Our technical challenge was to provide the ability to deliver resources using a set of technologies and frameworks that would ensure the longevity and maximum cross-compliance across a diverse set of devices. Each ITR created in the authoring tool is published out as a self-contained modular application that can be run within a bookshelf environment. Activities use and extend the Fabric.js canvas library. Each ITR can be saved to the user's file system for later restoration. Fabric.js was extended by Metro to allow the creation of tables, videos, and the ability to group and break apart objects. The Primary Connections bookshelf is an AngularJS application wrapped in a Node WebKit shell, which interacts with the Primary Connections authoring tool to get catalogue information, display available ITRs, and wrap these ITRs for display as a native application. The resources had to function offline due to the restricted internet access of some classrooms. A USB is a teacher's best friend, so we had to store lessons on USBs. As a digital agency, this freaked us out, but we realised that to be fit for purpose, this was a necessary evil. Designing the ultimate user experience was always going to be a massive part of this project. The framework needed to allow authoring from a range of users with varying levels of computer literacy. It was also important that the content made sense, specifically on an interactive whiteboard. We conducted thorough user testing in this environment, tweaking contrast to allow for bright classrooms and offering pointers for students who couldn't reach the entire board. As a result, over our achievements with this project, we've been rewarded for our excellence and innovation with 2 prestigious educational publishing awards from the Australian Publishers Association, APA. The product needed to appeal to authors, children and teachers, and we needed its style to be consistent with 33 existing publications. The design could never overwhelm the message because the main focus was always going to be on delivering curriculum. So what is the delivery method anyway? We learned lessons from our experience working in apps and iBooks and built a bookshelf system. This provided an interface so users could manage and launch their resources. We also worked closely with the PrimaryConnections team to establish appropriate simplified user licensing for the product. We designed and developed a number of key activities that became foundations for the product. The Toolkit's authoring tool is intentionally simple, while Activity Builder is truly innovative. The same tool that authors use to build the lesson is what students see in the classroom. It's seamlessly efficient coding, and truly what you see is what you get, enabling everyone from start to finish to see the exact same tool and interface. We are so proud of this project because we used technology in the most innovative way possible in order to help.